Hello, YouTube. Well, I've been watching a lot of really interesting videos, and I want to try something different. It is Friday night. Well, it's about 6 o'clock. I'm making spaghetti, and I'm wearing the other wig. I'm wearing the other wig. Okay. Um, it is around 6 o'clock on Friday night in April, and I just want to try something different because I watch a whole bunch of different videos, and I like to try different things. Sometimes I just want to vlog, like vent, and sometimes I want to talk about, you know, geography or politics. Sometimes I want to do a review, and then sometimes I want to try something new. And tonight, I want to try something new because some of the videos that I see on YouTube are like motivational. I said that. Like they're like kind of like motivational videos. Like either they're saying, God is watching over you and your hard times are part of, you know, what many of God's people have gone through, or they're saying, you know, you had enemies that you didn't know about, or they're saying, they're teaching you, there's some people are teaching you how to stay calm if you're erratic and emotional. They're teaching you how to, learn from the Stoics, and there's all kinds of like inspirational and motivational videos. Well, I don't really do that. Like I am a different kind of cheerleader. Like usually if I coach or cheerlead for somebody, it's usually a personalized experience. Like I know this person, I know that person is having a hard time at work, so I will try to, you know, give my opinions or advice on what I would do in that situation and if that would help, or based on my experience, what I think that person should do. Usually I personalize my advice or motivational speeches or cheerleading. Or like if I was on a bowling team with somebody, I'm going to be like the craziest, happiest cheerleader for the whole team because I'm on that team. But tonight, Friday, I'm going to do something different. I want to talk about loneliness. Mm. I mentioned in my previous video that my mother had committed, that some people thought she committed suicide. Some people thought that, and that she died at 60 years old. My mother was a wonderful person. Most of the time, she uh, she could be really harsh, and so can I. I'm a lot like her. I'm not just like her, but I'm a lot like her. I can be harsh sometimes, but I like to just say overall she was a wonderful person. And but the difference between me and her, I think the main difference is that she hated to be lonely. Nobody likes being lonely. I don't like being lonely either. But like literally, like it drove her insane. Like she hated being alone. Couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Not with a dog, not with a cat, not with a bird, not with a fish. She just couldn't be alone. Somebody had to be around her. Like, I mean, if it doesn't matter, I mean, if it was a man that was her boyfriend or lover or husband, or if it was a woman who was her best friend or her girlfriend, it didn't matter. Like she had to have a special person in her life. She could not deal with, you know, just a lonely type of life, a life of being alone. That was she just couldn't deal with that. And so this is why I want to talk about loneliness and being alone in my video, because I would say most of my life I've been alone. I have had some lovely times with when I had friends. I had friends in high school. I know how weird, friends. I had friends in high school. I had friends at some of the places where I worked, coworker friends. I had family when they lived nearby, and when they would check on me and stuff. I was part of a family. And I mean, I've not always been alone, but most of my life I've been alone. Most of my life, even and I hate to say this, but even in my married years, I spent most of my time alone. I mean, the few occasions when we went to dinner or we went on a special event together was like, you know, the defining moments of the marriage and relationship, the wedding, and then whenever we actually got to go out, if we had a nice dinner somewhere, or we went to an event, or we went to Disney World or something like that. Basically that was it. I mean, except for those outings, I was always alone. Yeah, he was a workaholic and I was always alone. So I'm used to it. I'm used to being alone. Now, I think about my mother though, who was not used to being alone, who like would literally emotionally break down if she, had to deal with loneliness. And she's not the only one. There are many people just like my mother who cannot deal with being alone. They just freak out. They can't handle it. It's like agonizing to them because they're not used to it. Basically, that's what it is, because they're not used to it. My mother came from a very large family. She was the youngest of the children. She always had people around. She was always sharing a room with one of her sisters. And then, right when she graduated from school, she was married, and she always had somebody. She was never alone. And so the few times when life, challenged her and presented that with to her loneliness or being alone, she could not handle it. And I think that was her biggest fear, was being alone. Um, so, uh, she had some breakdowns because of loneliness, or the being alone factor. I don't know if that's connected to why they said she committed suicide. I don't know. I only know that things weren't going well in her relationship at that time, and I don't know. I'm sure she was depressed. But you can't. I'm talking about people. I'm talking to you. If you're lonely, or if you're feeling alone and it's hard on you, I know that it's harder on some people than it is on others. It's not that hard on me because I'm used to it. But for other people, it can be really, really excruciatingly emotionally painful. If you're alone and you're not used to it, look, just relax, okay? Don't go down that dark, deep, depressing hole. I don't know if you have faith in God, but I hope that you do, because when you're alone is when you can really, really get close to God. And I think that people who just like die inside when they're all alone is because they really haven't been talking to God. They really don't want to talk to God. I'm not trying to say that my mother wasn't close to God. I don't know her relationship with God, but maybe she just didn't want to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? And when you're alone, that's mostly who you talk to, God. That's who you talk to the most when you're alone. So if you're alone and you don't know God, I suggest that you try talking to God and see how that goes. If that's like totally not your thing, you're like, no way, I don't want anything to do with talking to God. Okay, then I want to give you some other tips for not getting depressed because you're alone. All right, so maybe a relationship didn't work out. I how I deal with it now, when a relationship doesn't work out, I get out my tears, and then I say thank God. But if God's not your thing, you know why I say, well, I say thank God because I know that God knows what happened. But if you don't want to do the God thing, just find a gratitude attitude. I stole that from Oprah. Oprah used to always say, we got to have a gratitude attitude. I'm serious. She was so right. If you are grateful about things, it is so much better. It's so much better to be grateful. I mean, it's like, oh, you're crying because somebody doesn't want to be with you, or somebody doesn't love you, or you're sad. You really thought that you had something with that person, and it's over, and now you're alone and you're sad. Well, be grateful about it. Why would you want to be with someone who doesn't really love you? Why would you want to be with someone who can't give you whatever it is you need or you were looking for? Okay? Be grateful. Say, if you can't say thank God, say thank goodness. Thank goodness that person's out of my life. I don't need that. I don't need someone who doesn't know how to love me. I don't need somebody who only hurts me because they don't know how to love me. Okay? All right. Another thing about loneliness, you're like, oh, who am I going to talk to? Who am I going to ask for help? Who? Yourself. You're going to ask yourself. If you can't ask God, you're going to ask yourself. Look around. You have no friends? Is that your choice? Or was that their choice? Did they tell you we hate you, stay the hell away from us? Or did you choose it? With me, I usually choose it. I usually back away and choose it. Why? Because I don't play like the other kids. I don't play like the other kids. I know I'm different, and I don't like being the square peg, whenever all the other pegs around. So I choose to back away. If you didn't choose it though, if they pushed you out, there's a way that you can be grateful for that too. Those aren't your people. If they pushed you away, those are not your people. Go find your people. You have to maybe move somewhere. I'm not saying you have to move, but you have to go somewhere else, because if people are pushing you out, those are not your people. You got to go find your people. Okay? If you're like me and you withdrew on your own, it has nothing to do about the people. It has to do with introspection and why you have your own reasons why you choose to back away from people. Right? Are you different like me? Are you a square peg? Not round, but square? Are you don't understand people's conversations because of ambiguity and confusing things? Somebody said this and somebody said something else, and you're too confused and you don't want to deal with that? You're like me then. You just back away because you don't want to do the he said, she said, and the drama and the craziness. You have your own issues, so you just backed away. That's okay. You made a choice to back away. So enjoy, be grateful, enjoy your solitude, enjoy your peace. And and there is the internet. I mean, for all the hoopla about whether the internet is good for us or bad for us, we can still reach out to each other with the internet. And it's a safety net. It's not just the internet. It's a safety net. You want to curse? Curse. No one's going to hurt you here. You want to shadow box, throw fists in the air? Go ahead. It's okay. You want to say something stupid? It's okay. Go ahead. Here we're safe. Okay, nobody's gonna rag on us or throw tomatoes at us or threaten us with the police. We're safe here. Okay, so just be grateful. That's the best attitude I have, is gratitude.